Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and I am with Emma.
Hello.
And we are talking about why people cheat, infidelity. We've spoken about a lot of things. And the listeners, yes, if they have joined us just now, you can actually go on our Facebook page, Let's Talk About Sex on XFM 100.2 with Melanie Kelly. And there I will be uploading snippets of the show. So if you've missed the first and the second part, you will find them there. Now, the last part here, we're going to talk about, so one of the people, within the relationship has cheated. Mm-hmm. Now, there's two ways out of it. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Some separate.
Yeah.
But I loved what you wrote. You said, I love this. Some separate. Most do stay together. Is that proven? Is that researched?
Yeah, I mean, from the research, yes, I think it is proven. I'm pretty positive it is proven. But kind of what they find is that most
even
couples
maybe
do stay
your
together.
experience as a therapist.
Yes.
You'd find that most couples do stay together.
And this is what Esther Perel has found as well, and a lot of other therapists working with. Obviously, I mean, it could be that it's skewed, because obviously the clients who separate don't go to therapists. They go to lawyers.
A few weeks ago, I actually quoted Esther Perez, where she said that infidelity is no longer a breaker within the relationship.
Yeah.
That obviously, I know, and I don't want to offend the people out there who are listening, who are probably very adamant about it, and because I hear a lot of people say, no, if he or she is unfaithful to me, that's it. Gone.
Yeah.
It's over. But I think it comes from the mentality that you feel that if a person is cheating on you, it is because they want somebody else. And we've tried to explain in the show here that sometimes you have to really explore why that person, what is missing in their life.
Yeah.
Because 99% of the time, if you go up to the person who has cheated and you tell them, okay, would you leave your partner, your long-term partner, for this person that you cheated on? I would, no research here. I'm just, just coming out like that. But I would say most people would say no.
Yeah.
I am staying with my long-term partner.
Yeah.
And then you'd ask them, why did you risk that?
Yeah,
and they'd say,
question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is what we've already spoken about.
Yeah.
It's
transgression.
Because,
we love to break rules.
Yes, and this uncertainty, this wanting to feel alive.
Yeah.
So, some separate.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they have their divorce.
Yeah, usually you would find that people the marriage was already at its end kind of before this happened, and this was the final push that
Yes.
They decided, okay, it's done. And it's not necessarily an unsuccess. It's not necessarily a failure, if they separate. Sometimes it's a really...
You honor the time.
Yes, and I think what is super important about separation is when there was an affair, if a couple's been together for 5 years, 10 years, 23 years, and there was one affair, there was still,
there
all
was
those
still 25
other
years, which were hopefully great.
Good, shared stuff, children, family, friends, moments,
Yes.
So to sort of trash it all, based on that one thing.
Yes.
So in therapy, we work with this a lot, for example, using rituals to end.
How to reconcile the couple even after they have separated.
Kind of,
to keep.
Like we would do a ritual, for example. We do a ritual to start a marriage.
Yes.
So you do
marriage, the whole.
Exactly. So you do a ritual to end it. So, for example, one thing you can do is write a letter to each other.
Okay.
And say this is what I really appreciate about you. This is what hurt. I accept that this is the end. This is what I'm gonna miss. And thank you. Thank you for the children you gave me. Thank you for the comfort you gave me.
Oh, you make me sad.
Whatever,
You make me sad. It's made me sad. Yes, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's real because when a relationship comes to the end, it's sad in a way. But it's also giving yourself room to grow. Because
Exactly.
obviously if the relationship needs to come to the end, it means that you as a person needs to grow in a different
Yeah.
direction.
And in a way, like you set the other free, but you set yourself free.
Exactly.
Like even more.
Yes,
Like
yes.
and this needs to happen as well in relationships. You know how
Yes.
before we mentioned rules
Yes.
and how we tend to like box each other
Yes.
in because we're scared. And this goes back to growth.
Yes.
Okay. So if I don't let's say we're a couple.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't let you grow.
Okay.
Because it's scary if your partner
Grows.
Because what happens if your partner grows and they find out something about themselves?
Which does not involve you.
Exactly.
Or which they feel they can't do without you.
What's
but
going to
there's
happen?
Fear,
Are they going to leave me?
There's fear.
Am I all of a sudden not going to be good enough because they've discovered this new part of themselves? They're all of a sudden successful in one way or another, you know? So sometimes what we try to do to each other is we try to hold each other down.
But the end result is still going to be the same, in the sense that if your partner is actually going to grow and eventually, this doesn't happen all the time, but if you fear that your partner is going to grow and eventually leave you and you box your partner in, ultimately, however, it's still going to leave you.
Then they're really going to want to transgress,
And
right?
then
Exactly. Because then they need to break free. It's not
Yes.
that they want to grow,
Yes,
you know, and
yes.
you're growing as well. It's,
Yes.
I can't take this anymore. Get off me, like,
Yes,
you know?
Yes. Okay, power, girl.
Power.
Yeah. So we said most do stay together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here I'm trying to figure out what you wrote. Which part of your drawing is
Yeah,
that?
there are
This,
two
this.
different ways that
Yes.
couples stay together. So some of them stay like, you know, out of, well, it's complicated,
Yes,
right?
I know.
It's complicated.
I saw
mean,
the
in a
words out of
marriage.
duty, out of obligation.
And not just that, but even it's like, it's complex, right? It's not
Yes.
just two people sharing life together. If
Yes,
there's children,
children
if there's
involved.
money,
Yes.
if there's businesses,
Yes.
you know, if you've been together for God knows
Yes.
how long, you know, you have everything shared together. It's
Yes,
not,
yes.
if you know, one of them hasn't worked for I don't know how many years and they're completely dependent on the other. It's
Yes.
not a simple decision.
Yes.
So some people sort of,
And if a couple decide to stay together out of duty, out of obligation, because of all of this, I mean, there's no judgment attached to it.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense that
it's complex.
it's complex. You
Yeah.
can't say, "Oh no, you should." It's complex.
Yeah.
So you know, it's to be respected.
Yeah.
Hopefully, however, you stay together because you want to build a more joyous relationship.
Yes, and in fact, a lot of the time, like what you find is that the affair sort of brings both of them back to life.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a little bit like when somebody
Because
goes...
it brings the uncertainty in the relationship.
Exactly. So it's a little bit like when somebody gets a terminal...
We are not
a
telling people
terminal,
to go and
when-
have an affair to make the relationship
No.
better.
And in fact, this is the example I want to give. If you get seriously ill with something, okay, usually people who get seriously ill and recover, you find that they have
Yes,
this
a zest
new
for life.
Zest for life.
Yes,
So
yes.
I wouldn't recommend having an affair. Okay, and Esther Perez says this too. You don't recommend having an affair as much as you wouldn't recommend getting cancer.
Of course.
Okay,
Of
like,
course.
but it doesn't mean that,
That
like
once you get it,
you
don't,
can never recover
you
from
can't
it.
never recover from it.
You know?
I get you.
And
I
in
get
fact, some couples end up really recovering from it. They have conversations that they haven't had together for
Yes.
years.
Yes.
You know, they
They
get...
explore more. Yes.
Exactly. They're in this uncertainty. So then they're sexually alive again.
Exactly.
They're sexually
and
awake.
both of them now are in the uncertainty. Not one of them.
Yeah.
Not the person who's causing the transgression, but both of them. So we're going to give you tips, okay, for the couples out there of how to keep the uncertainty within
Yeah.
the relationship,
But
the feeling of
before
alive.
we do that,
Before we do that,
I
tell me,
think
Emma.
on the topic of like healing the
Yes,
relationship,
yes.
I think it's really important that the person who's committed the transgression, okay, the person who's had the affair, needs to know that they have to own responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like
yes,
they have
yes.
to, and it has to be in a way like, not like, oh, I'm so guilty, I feel so guilty, I feel so guilty, I feel so guilty, and then it becomes all about you. Like, it's like, I see what I did, I know what I did, I know how much I hurt you, and I'm really sorry for how much I hurt you.
Okay.
And now I'm here.
Okay. Now, how about the other person? Because now we're talking about how you can heal after an affair.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you can heal by the person who committed the transgression, okay? The person who cheated owns it.
Yes.
Owns it, takes responsibility for it, does not try and come up with excuses of why and when,
Exactly.
or rather explain it
Exactly.
to try and put it out on the table.
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
how
yeah.
about, however, the person who was hurt and betrayed? How long does that person have permission to throw it back at the partner? Because I think that would be one of the worst ones, yeah?
Yeah.
When you've got one partner who is solemnly and really, sorry for what they did,
Yeah.
but then the person who was betrayed keeps throwing it back in the face.
I mean, at the beginning, I think it's natural, like
Yes.
that is going to happen. It's
Yes.
only,
Yes.
But I think if the person sort of holds on to this for too long,
Yes.
they're not going to recover.
because then it becomes self-destructive.
Yes.
So basically, all the couples who are, if you're listening to us and you've been betrayed, and maybe you're going through this right now, there's also a need to understand that when you hold on to the bitterness
Exactly.
of it, then you become bitter.
Yeah.
And it's your quality of life
Exactly.
that diminishes.
In fact, the person who's been cheated on needs to work a lot on their sense of joy, on their
course.
growth, on their self-worth. Because obviously,
course.
when somebody
Cheats on you, it
all
makes
of a
you
sudden,
feel
it
like you're worthless.
Exactly. Like, I mean, what's wrong with me? Like, why
Yes.
why
Yes.
him and not me? Or so
Yes.
yeah, they need to take care of themselves big time.
Okay, so how do we keep it alive? How do we keep a relationship, alive with that uncertainty feeling in it? Go,
Okay.
tell us.
So growth,
Reveal.
So growth, our spiritual human need needs to become central in our lives.
Okay.
Yeah. And we need to grow as a couple. Okay. So like putting ourselves into situations of uncertainty. So for example, like a lot of people like to go on date nights,
Yes.
which is great, and it's good because
Yes.
it gives you that certainty. So it
Yes.
gives you that comfort.
Yes.
Like, okay, I know that once every 2 weeks we go out for dinner.
Yes.
And we,
but
we're
there's still a
together,
certain
blah, blah, blah.
certainty in that.
But exactly, that is certainty.
Yes.
So as a couple, you need to put yourselves into situations of uncertainty.
Okay.
Okay. So like travel to a country that's like unfamiliar to you, like together, and discover
Okay.
yourselves in this new place, or go and meet new people together and discover each other in this new place,
Okay. So going away, maybe if you haven't been on a weekend break together without the kids, you do that.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been canoeing, go canoeing together.
Exactly, that's a really good idea. Like do something scary, do
Go
something
camping.
like whitewater rafting, or if you're really courageous, do something like skydiving or
Yeah, I did
something,
that.
like you've done that.
I've done that, but I doubt my husband will jump off a plane.
But that is another thing, like you don't always need to grow together. So good for
Yes.
you for doing it.
No, for example, I
like-
know I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
So, I've done all the bungee jumping. I've done the, jumping off a plane.
Okay, cool.
So I try to keep that. Yeah.
But and another thing is like grow separately,
Yes,
like
very important.
do your thing, like go and learn new stuff and travel on your own. And
Very important to be passionate about life, because am I wrong if I say that most probably we're not talking about those relationships where they've actually come to the end, but the relationships where seemingly everything's okay, all right, like with Priya and the truck driver, you know, where seemingly everything's okay. When a person cheats, he would have cheated if his wife were A, B, C, or D.
Sure.
Probably he would have
Yeah.
come to that part of his life, whether he was married with A, B, C, or D, he would have done it anyway.
sure, it's
Because
possible.
it's not
yeah,
about the
yeah.
partner, but it's about him or her.
Yeah.
So, can you affair-proof a relationship?
No, I don't think you can affair-proof a relationship. I just like you can't divorce-proof a relationship. I don't think. If you love, you risk.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. It's better
There's
to
no
love
certainty.
and have lost than to have never loved at all. Was that
Exactly.
Shakespeare? I think so.
But that's beautiful because
Yes.
that's the uncertainty.
Yes.
So, and the more that we don't take each other for granted, the more that I know that you can leave me at any point, the more that keeps me on my toes to
Yes.
be like, I'm gonna let this woman know that she's my queen.
Yeah.
Yes, that like I adore her and what she brings to my life. But if
Yes.
I walk in every day and I'm like on my phone, I'm like, oh, Mel, all right. Like, I mean,
Sounds like my
kinda-
husband. Hey, husband, are you listening?
You know what I mean?
I want
like
flowers
this.
tonight.
And it's okay if that happens a
Yes,
bit.
I'm
but
joking.
what I'm saying
Yes,
is,
yes.
you know what I mean? We need to...
Yes.
It's in the same way that we become fully alive when we
Yes.
realize that we're going to die one day.
Yes.
It's the same
Yes,
with our
yes,
relationships. We
yes.
need to remember that they end. So be
Yes.
alive in them.
Yes. So fantastic, Emma. That was great advice that you gave us there.
Oh, it was so much fun to be here.
I'm going to invite you again, girl. For
Thank you for inviting
For sure. So start preparing for the next radio show.
Okay.
So that's enough for now because I think we're way over our time limit. Yes. Just about. So we're going to leave you with one last song and we will be back with you next week on Thursday evening. And if you haven't listened to the whole program and you'd like to listen in, then go on our Facebook page. Let's talk about sex on XFM 100.2 with Melanie Kelly. And there you'll find snippets of all the radio show today. So we'll tell them good night.
Good night.
Good
and
night
thank you
and-
so much. Like,
Yes.
thank you for listening.
And hopefully, some listeners out there, we've brightened their day or made them a bit more clear.
Totally.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Mel.
You're welcome.
High five.
High five.